Hey guys, it's Finding Prince Charming Season 1, Episode 8, the finale, the last black tie, with special guest star Justin Roisom, Dylan, Eric, Brandon. Who ends up in Robert's bed? Watch now.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hello everyone, welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV's Finding Prince Charming recap. I am your host, Tony Moore, and I am joined by the full house gaggle of gals. We have, to my far left.
Hey guys, Chris Valentine back.
Hey guys, it's Grant's Rants.
Hey everyone, Jesse D'Angelo.
And of course, holding down the couch is...
It's J. Ellis, bitch. Yeah. I got my Britney mic. I have to.
And joining us via phone and cab, we have the lovable and likable Justin. Hey, Justin.
Hi, guys.
Hey, you made it.
Yay. Okay, so Justin, first of all,
I'm here.
We totally thought that you were going to be like in the finale, one of the top two, if not the person that Robert chose, and we were so shocked when you went home. How are you feeling at that moment? Because I know in the last episode, you and Robert's sister didn't quite go together after she said you were more like a best friend.
She came for me, didn't she?
She did.
Yeah.
She was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, boo."
We were feeling
But you're
you.
like his best friend.
Yeah,
so I'm sorry.
she was not having it. I sat down in front of her, and I did not even open my mouth, and she just started going in. So she was just judging purely on looks and assessment. So
Yeah, I'm like,
nice.
it's okay.
I didn't know I related to her so much. I'm just
bitch.
kidding. I don't do that.
Well,
we
Justin,
all
you
are a
changed
little
your
bit,
look so
right?
much. You still have your
what we all
blonde
want to.
hair.
No, he has dark hair now.
dark now.
It's changing all the time,
like the
though.
look.
It's still dark, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I
a
like
chameleon.
I like the dark hair.
No, I like the dark.
I'm back to my roots, pun intended.
Love it.
So, Justin, how was your experience, like, on this show? I know that it probably had to be a lot, like, going in and, you suddenly have, like, cameras involved, you're looking for love, there's a suitor, there's 13 other boys. Like, what was your overall experience like?
You guys, it was so out of my normal realm of consciousness. I feel like I was very naive going into the process. I knew I was going into this untitled gay dating show, but to be honest, everything that happened, it was just each day at a time was something new. It was crazy, unexpected, and I just kind of rolled with the punches.
Yeah.
And it was honestly an amazing experience, and I wouldn't trade it.
And go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, well, even though you didn't end up in the finale, which was, I think, would have been more fun with you in it.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think we all agree on that.
I mean, who was there to make the commentary? That's what I want to know.
No one.
Right?
No one.
I'm like, Justin, what
There
are you
wasn't,
thinking?
there wasn't you, there wasn't Robbie. Like, at least we could have had y'all, like, in the foreground going like, yes, bitches, choose
Right. They're
somebody.
like, we need to bring these boys back to talk about the episode.
Still
Right.
narrating it, yeah.
But I was gonna say, even though you didn't end up in the finale, you're leaving with these, as you call them, sister wives, which might even be better.
How is the relationship with
Absolutely.
you and everyone?
Really good, actually. I was just in LA visiting with Brandon, Eric, and Dylan. Robbie was unfortunately in New York, but I still keep in touch with him. I saw Danique when I was there. Paul and Chad were there. I mean, I keep in touch with actually most of the boys. I feel like I was kind of Switzerland in the house and just tried to make friends with everybody. And I definitely got called out for making friends with everybody and not trying to be there for love. But
Yeah.
I was just there having a good time meeting people. And, it was like when we entered the house, we didn't know who the suitor was, right? So you never know if you're going to actually be attracted to that person or if you're going to vibe with them. So I went in with an open heart and open mind and ended up, making some of the best friends that I could ask for. And that to me is a win.
Justin, were you attracted to Robert? Or were you just, at some point,
obviously Robert's an attractive person. He's striking when you see him. He's very good looking. I think, Robert and I definitely were attracted to each other at first, but as the more time we spent together, I think that attraction definitely turned more platonic. It was very obvious. We had a good time together. We enjoyed each other's presence, but I don't know if there was a lot of sexual chemistry.
Okay, that's honest, because it did turn into like a Sister Wives with you and the other guys, and you kind of stood out right from the beginning
Totally.
when you were crying for them, and I was like, oh my gosh, is that real? And so you developed your own character, and we all kind of latched onto you. We loved you so from the very beginning, and you kept true to
Oh, thank
yourself
you.
through the whole thing. So it was great having you to see every week.
I'm curious as to
Well, I
what,
appreciate that. Go ahead.
I'm just curious as to what type of reaction you've received since you were on the show for quite a few weeks, and you are beloved by a lot of viewers. So I want to know kind of what the feedback has been like since you've left the show.
Honestly, it's been a very, I've been very pleasantly surprised with the reactions of people. People have been very supportive. I feel very encouraged by some of the messages that I keep receiving about how I've inspired people to come out, or people are proud of the way I portrayed myself and was true to how a positive person can be in the community, and not just be there for hooking up for sex, but to make friends and enjoy each other's presence and company. So that to me, as long as I'm able to help others in some way, shape, or form, and just show that you can be a genuine good person, even though it's reality TV, then I've done something right. I've been surprised by this, positive reaction from people, just liking me for being me. It's kind of crazy because I didn't act any other way than how I am in real life. So to get this, this warm welcome of people liking me for that is a positive thing.
That's awesome.
On that note, like, since your experience with the show has been good, the response has been good, would you do a season 2? Look, because we know that we have a season 2, and if there was potential for you being chosen as a bachelor, and I'm filling out my application right now, if that's the case,
All of them
would you do that? Would you like to be in that position?
I haven't put a lot of thought into it, but reality TV is a very grueling process.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes to make a 40-minute-hour show.
Yeah.
I had a great time. I think I would be welcome to the idea of doing a season 2. But, Robert had to do a lot of work. I mean, he was dating these 12 other guys. That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Or 13, excuse me. He was constantly going on dates, doing different things, changing outfits and whatnot. And I only had to, be on the dates that I was on with him, and not do everything that he had to do. So I don't know. I think it would be a very fun experience, but I mean, it's hard enough dating one person, let alone 13.
Right.
Yeah.
Or you could do a reality show like a best friends race, like what Paris Hilton did.
Oh my
'Cause
gosh.
I feel like everyone would die to be your best
Honestly,
friend.
people,
It'd be so
people
much
kept
fun.
saying that. They kept saying they feel like that I'm competing for Paris Hilton's BFF than I am for love.
I would join
And I
that
felt like
show
that's
too.
a
Love that show.
Yeah.
I wanted to be on that show so bad when
Oh
I
my
was younger.
gosh.
My friend was on it. He was one of the gay guys. Didn't make it that far, but
He was
Loves
one
it.
of the gay guys.
well, there were two.
Oh my
of
god, I
them.
love
Steve Bryan and
that
Anj.
show.
Oh yeah.
Well, the burning question that everyone has, Justin, is: do you still have the portrait that Robert made for you during the art date?
A shady portrait.
You know what? I actually do.
Did you put it in a frame and hang it up?
I kept the memento. It's not framed. It is still rolled up, but I did keep it because he did put some thought behind it.
Yeah.
And I think it's a nice souvenir to have on the show. And
Oh,
it's
totally.
great.
Yeah.
Of course.
It's above the fireplace.
Isma.
Now,
Maybe not above the fireplace, but somewhere else.
Under the bed.
now,
Yeah, exactly.
Justin, before we have to let you go, what was like a surprising moment or shocking moment or shady moment? They all go together for you while you were
Oh, wow.
there.
A shocking, surprising, or shady moment. Well, I will say it's interesting to watch the side videos that are put up, like the extra footage, the confessionals, and the different things that happened in the house. Because, I was obviously there for the show. We was there filming, but I didn't get to see or hear everything.
Right.
So it's interesting to hear what some of the people had to say about me and about others once it was, not in front of our face.
Oh, did
So
that?
I guess that's shocking and surprising and shady, but I think there's some really good footage up there. I think all the guys at the end of the day were there to hopefully represent their best selves. So, I think everything just happened and unfolded as it was. We were stuck in a house together, and there's cramped space, there's alcohol involved. Sometimes emotions run high. So I don't know if I was necessarily surprised or shocked, but I think definitely at the beginning of the season, you see me get up and remove myself from situations when you get heated up because I just did not want to be involved.
Yes, that happened quite a few times. The funniest one happened early on in the season when Sam was going, and everyone was just like, excuse me, I'm sorry, who wants some more wine? Somebody needs me over there.
I gotta go check something.
I love that.
Justin,
Bloop, hold on, wait a minute. Someone's calling my name, I think. So.
I have one more question for you.
No, ma'am, Pam.
I know you can't talk about the reunion, but how was that experience for you, and is there anything that you want to say?
Oh, boy. To be honest, I had a terrible time at the reunion. It was good to see some people, but I think what you will see is that there are very high emotions and tempers, and it was a very interesting experience. I think it'll be well worth the watch.
Oh, trust me, just by watching the preview, I already have my tea mug out and ready for all the tea that's about to be spilt during this
Wait,
reunion.
is there already a preview? I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah,
and it looks good.
Yeah, it came on after the show.
Lots of emotion.
Yeah, it looks like there were some people who were
I
real
didn't watch tonight's episode yet, so I'll be sure to check it out.
Yeah, oh, well, we won't spoil
How
it
did I
for you.
look, though? That's a burning question.
Well,
Yeah, it was
Justin,
good.
thank you so much for joining us, and I'm so glad that we were able to like have this small kiki. But when you come to LA, we have to have a full kiki.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am,
I've
Pam.
been dying to talk to you, and I know I've been having side conversations with each of you, really, through Twitter or whatnot. But you guys have been so kind, and I've absolutely loved listening to your guys' reviews ever since the first episode. So thank you for your kindness and welcomeness, and I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you for supporting us as we support you.
Oh, I love it. I retweet everything you girls do.
Ooh, challenge. I love it.
Be careful, Jay. Well, thank you, Justin, and we'll hopefully talk to you soon.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, you guys have a good
fun
night.
tonight.
All right,
Yeah,
you too.
have
Justin.
fun.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, I like
him.
Justin.
He's a wonderful guest.
Yeah, he's great.
He's
Love,
so
love, love.
nice and so kind, and I wish him nothing but the best. Somebody, whoever scoops him up is gonna be good.
Well, I want to ask him. I want to say, have you seen like an uptick in interest since you did the show? Like, I'm always curious. And we don't want to make anyone feel like bad, you know? You don't want to say like no.
Because I'm a psycho. I like look on his like on his Twitter. I follow some of the guys on here, and there's a lot of some of them. Yeah, not all. Some, my favorites, and he gets a lot of love and support. So I'm actually really happy for out of the show. I feel like he has been one of the best to come out of it.
And like he said, he's kind of keeping true to himself even in the reunion because it looks like he can't take too much emotion. You know, when everybody gets crazy, it really affects
like negative
him.
based.
Yeah.
You know, he's sensitive to that, so I can see, you know, how the reunion's going to be hard for him. But I kind of wanted to ask him, because he did mention how hard it is to create a reality show and how hard Robert worked to make it, which Robert has said too. But I kind of wanted to say, did production coach, you know, Robert and how to do the ending in a way? Or I felt the guys were themselves, but I felt like Robert, to make the show, might have been coached a little. So I always want to know a little inside information, but we left that alone.
Well, I know when you watch I know if you get into the show, like when you watch The Bachelor, it's like whoever is the Bachelor says the same stuff. It's
Exactly.
so recycled every season.
That's what I was. That's what I was thinking.
You
I
know,
can't
have
watch
to be.
that.
I felt like some of the words
I
tonight.
still love it. But
I can't.
Some of the words tonight from Robert were just like The Bachelor. It's like I have to like keep people interested in the whole show, so we have a big finale,
Right.
and then we were surprised, but we'll get to that.
Right.
Well, speaking of, let's get into the show before we run out of time.
That's right.
All right, so the boys have arrived in good old gay Palm Springs. I mean, can you get to
I
Gay
know,
City?
right?
Perfect.
Very
Yes.
fitting.
Super
So right off the bat, Robert exposes his secret and becomes very vulnerable.
Finally.
And finally, after all these episodes, y'all heifers have been waiting so long to find out if these guys find out if about Robert's past, and he does admit to the final three that in college he was an escort. So
Yay.
we shall talk about it for a brief second. How did you guys feel about the reveal of the secret?
I was so happy, and I was almost thinking, did they film this as we were doing our after show? Because we brought it up day one. We brought it up right away, and I'm like, did they have to come out with it? Because they already knew. We all knew anyways, and so let's just cover it. I was so glad that they finally did cover it, because it was a little weird in the limousine in an earlier episode where he has a secret to tell, and he didn't reveal that. And I'm like, oh, that doesn't really make sense now.
Yeah.
Now, finally, at at the end he's being true to the other guys. They had to open themselves up to him. He finally revealed something major in his past. So I was so happy to see that.
Well, I don't know if the timelines all match up with when the news came out publicly. I don't really know how far back those rumors went, even if we knew that he was going to be the main guy on the show. So I don't know, but I respect Robert for making that point and bringing that up and not having it be exposed on, like, Twitter, like we thought it was, because we were under the impression that no one knew and that the production company didn't know and Logo didn't know, but clearly they knew if it was part of this because they knew that was going to come up. I'm sure Robert didn't spring that on the crew and the production and everybody in that moment.
I think it's more so they didn't know, like, before he was chosen.
Yeah, because that's what I heard, that they
just
found
do a
out when they were
Google
already
search.
well underway into production.
The contracts
so then they just
are
have
like
to deal
this
with
big
it.
on these reality shows, so I'm amazed that he wouldn't come forward with that. I mean, because they ask every question under the sun.
That doesn't mean you have to answer every question.
So,
under the
you-
sun.
Yeah, but if you do a Google search, though, you can also see some things.
Now you can. Now that it's like all up and running.
His shining moments.
You don't
Yeah.
know that up.
I'm happy he just broke up that awkwardness in the pool. They were playing like Marco Polo without saying Marco or Polo. They were just swimming around in
I
circles.
know.
Like they needed some
You guys
kind of
are
Production
conversation.
amp
It was
it
a
up. That's
weird
when you can
energy,
coach
yeah.
them.
Yeah, so I think I'm happy that it was acknowledged on the show.
Yes, and I'm happy that I felt like there has to be a moment where you feel comfortable enough to share a part of you, and I think that this was the moment where he felt like it was down to the final three. And these are the three people that he felt like he had the best connection with.
Yeah.
And that, now it's, if we're going to move forward, then there is something that you need to know about me. Should this have been said episode 1? No, I don't think so. But I think now was like the perfect time to, say, hey, I did this.
Yeah, and that's because that episode when the guys revealed something about themselves, I thought that would have been the perfect time for him to reveal it. But now, what you're saying makes total sense. Like, he technically doesn't owe them that in the beginning if he's not feeling a deep connection. Because, in real life, that would have been the equivalent of a first date. You don't necessarily owe someone that then.
Right.
So, like you said, the
To
fact
put
that
all
it's
your
like the
cards
final
on the
three
table.
and he feels,
Right.
right. So I get that.
So, and it was great. The guys like rallied around him and said, "Listen, that's your past. Everyone has one. That's not who you are or what defines you now." So it seems like everyone was just kind of like, meh, and kind of moved on.
Everyone just
I
went
have
with
a
it.
little question for you guys, though, because they all say it's in your past, it's in your past. It almost feels like it's a negative thing, though, for the guys that are escorting now. Is that wrong to ask that question? Because they've kind of demonized it, and it's like, oh, it's okay, it's in your past. But what about the guys that are still doing it? Yes, I think it would have been wrong for Robert to be an escort while he's doing a dating show. I agree with that. But why do they make it sound like, oh, it's okay, Robert, you did it a long time ago, and that's always the answer? What about the guys that are doing it now?
Well, it doesn't have anything to do with the guys who were doing it.
I know,
now.
but is it a bad thing? What about
see what
how
you're
would
saying,
how would you feel if you had to do that, or you were doing that job? Let's not even judge it. You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying, but I think for Robert's specific situation, he's coming at it from an angle of like this. That is his past. He's like, I used to do this, so they're
Right.
responding in a
Good
way
point.
of being
Yeah,
like,
that's a good point.
Yeah, I think it's an isolated.
But I totally get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no knock to anyone. Look, do you, boo? Do whatever you got to do.
I like it. Well, I wasn't
but-
expecting that from Tony.
But I mean, at the same time, if someone that I was interested in came to me and said, "I'm currently an escort,"
Deal
Well,
breaker.
see, that's what I'm saying.
well, but
Yeah.
we gonna have to go to, someplace and get some applications for some jobs or something.
Yeah,
You don't have to
that's
stop
what
doing that.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
saying,
you're
how would
dating.
you react? How would you react? If say it was even in someone's past, would you have the same reaction as the guys? I don't know if I would feel the same way about Robert.
I don't know. I feel like the guys do. Like, people have things about their past, and as long as you're not currently doing it, then I don't.
Yeah, if you're dating,
You have
yeah.
to do a little research.
I was gonna say, do you think your understanding of something like that is directly proportional to how much of a past you know what I mean? Because I feel
Yeah.
like I've done stuff in my past and I would never want to be judged for it, so
Right.
I would be completely like how the guys were. I
Yeah.
would not hold that against him.
No, and then
Same.
sometimes it goes into like how long ago in your past was that? Like, if he was like,
Yeah, we talking last
yesterday
weekend,
I was
or-
an
See,
that's
escort,
why you
and
gotta
I'd be
do
like,
research.
okay,
do
wait, no, that's too
research.
soon. But like maybe last year it's kind of like, okay, we've eased out of it.
Yeah.
But like 10 years ago, I mean, we were all
decade's a
different
decade,
people, 10 years ago.
That's true. They
for
say
sure.
you change every 7 years.
Exactly.
You're a completely
Yeah.
different person. Yeah, but see, that's when you have to do your research so and make sure that everything is, you have to look around a little bit, stage names and things like that. You know what I mean? Just gotta make sure. You gotta make sure if you're going
Well,
into something with your
everything's on
eyes
the internet
open.
now.
Trust me,
yeah.
Google can be your friend. You get that first and last name, and all of a sudden you can hit it. I'm not saying I do, but I do. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I only need a first name and where you're from, and I will Nancy Drew the hell out of that name.
She's back.
If you play the game of mutual friends, you can really get a lot of good dirt.
Pause. What?
No, I was gonna say one time I.
Oh, tell us.
So crazy. One time I dug up like voter registration info on this guy and his entire family.
Why?
I like it.
I didn't even try that hard. They were all Republicans.
Oh, I was just
I'm
gonna
like,
ask.
See, you
I
are.
was just gonna ask.
Deal
and
breaker?
y'all try to call me Carmen San Diego
So
sometimes.
what happened after that?
Hardy boy.
Nothing.
Would you be more turned off if they were an escort or a Republican?
Whoa.
It's a
Y'all
toss-up.
both are in the same boat.
Elections next week. This is apropos.
Oh, I just voted today. Oh, please.
Oh.
I'm over it. Goodbye.
Okay.
Oh.
Moving on to the show.
Unless
well,
they paying your bills.
We have a group date that happened among the guys, and they all get to paint the town red, blue, green, purple, yellow.
It's a rainbow.
So they are painting a crosswalk in the rainbow colors in Palm Springs, which I thought was a very cute date to do.
Yeah.
It looked fun, I guess.
Robert's business.
I wanted it to be a little more creative, not just coloring in the lines. I was hoping for some, that gay creative aspect to come out. So
What
What are you looking for? Like an
did you want
ombre
them to? Did you
design?
want them?
Yeah,
right.
honey.
Did you want them to come out with like a bucket of glitter and like?
yes, glitter works, people. But let's just say that Robert is a designer by career. We haven't seen much of more than a few scenes, which I don't want to. That's nothing to do with this in a way. But if you are so creative and you are a designer, maybe we could have seen a little bit more design aspect
And
to
that-
it.
that
That's
is
all I
his-
was saying. That's all I was feeling.
That is his non-profit after all, too. But yeah.
Well,
I mean,
listen,
it is
you
what
still
it
got to
is.
be in accordance to the city of Palm Springs. You can't go over there and doodle on the crosswalk and put whatever you want.
Last
Yes,
time I was
you
thrown in
can.
jail.
No, you can't. Y'all heifers act like you can just go into the city and do whatever you want to do. You can't do that. The city of Palm Springs says,
I'm
listen,
sure Robert would've
if
made it
y'all
beautiful.
want this cute date, y'all better paint inside these lines and call it a day. And that's exactly what they did.
We didn't
was-
see the final product, did we?
Yeah.
Oh,
It was
That was
perfect.
it.
I was more
That
concerned
was
about
it.
Brandon's poor ankle, but yeah, I think I answered my own. I'm going to answer my own question. I wish that we had some of these dates where it's like Robert's expertise, his business, his company, like who he is.
said
That's
this
what I was
last
just
week.
saying.
But then I'm
Yeah.
I
thinking,
want to see
well,
more.
And
Yeah.
yes, and you guys did. But then I'm thinking, well, maybe he was saying it for people he actually wanted to show this side of him too, like
Right.
toward the end of the show. But I just think that these were better than like the boxing gym, the acrobatics. Like this was just a little
Missed
bit more of
opportunity.
More of him.
Sure.
Yeah,
right,
absolutely.
like a one-on-one. This
Yeah.
would have been a cute one-on-one, like painting the
Yeah.
sidewalks instead of him managing three men painting his
cute
sidewalks.
to
There were like
watch.
4 strips. Like they each got a
Yeah.
strip. Like you could have handled that with you and someone
Yeah.
on a date.
Right.
Do you know
It's
what I
cute
mean?
to watch, but I don't know what to do with all that manual labor in the sun like that in Palm Springs.
I
This
would have
isn't
grabbed a
some
Capri Sun
180.
and sat on the curb and been like, "You guys have this. Like, I am gonna sit this one out. I'm good.
Yeah, right.
I'll do one and done.
I'll do red
One
and
and
then I'm
done.
set." Yeah,
I can't. Well, someone who was done was Brandon's ankle.
I know.
How did that
Yeah.
happen?
I still don't know
Oh,
how it
bad
happened. Like all of a sudden they were just like, yeah.
Was he skipping?
And then all of a sudden it was like, and it's like,
Yeah.
what just happened?
Don't go on Dancing with the Stars. I mean,
Honey.
that was just some. I looked like he was skipping like back to the other side of the street, and then it happened.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
Sweet
It was-
Dylan grabbing him and carrying him to the car.
Should have been Robert.
It really should have been.
Because that's a very Prince Charming thing to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
so
like
chivalrous.
picking up
Well,
with the friggin'
I
rain
felt so
puddle
bad
and
for
Robert didn't have time. He had to get back to the hotel to change clothes.
You-
got stuff
Tony,
on his
you are
legs.
You gonna
in
throw some
Danger
shade?
Girl.
Huh?
You in Danger Girl. You're gonna.
I know.
No, I'm.
This is the Twitter
He's
block
logging
zone,
on
and you
now.
are like,
You're surrounded by 2 tweets.
No. Robert and I are. Hold on, let me check.
Robert, we're still good.
Let
We're
me
still
check.
good,
Let me
yeah.
double check. All right. So after the group date, we cut to Dylan, who is not quite feeling the connection between him and Robert, and feel like on this particular day, like him and Robert just seemed very distant to each other. And I like what Dylan did. Dylan was just like, listen, I need to get to the point. Like, I don't want to invest my heart and my feelings into someone that doesn't feel the same way.
any more
And-
than I have
right.
already.
And so I applaud Dylan for just being like, listen, you like me, yes, no, ain't no maybe.
Right.
I loved it.
I like the conversation, and Robert was basically like, listen, my connection with the other guys are a bit stronger, and Dylan was like, cool.
Yeah,
Love you lots. Deuces.
He had the best exit. He saved face. He said his piece.
Right.
He wasn't the one that was, thrown out. Like, I feel like I still feel so bad for Paul. I felt was really like thrown away. So like at least this guy got to be like, you know what? We're leaving on these terms. We were able to have a good civil one-on-one conversation, private, and we're out.
Yeah.
Brandon, I applaud you. I felt the same way. It was like you took the reins. I don't
Who?
think.
Dylan.
Excuse me. Dylan, because I don't think production planned this. I think the pressure was building. I think he felt it. He knew something wasn't right. And he took the bull by the horns and he just said, I'm going to find out. I'm like, yes. That was fantastic, Dylan.
I like that he made his own choice, and I do appreciate that Robert even said with like flat out like it's just not there. So both of them had a very mutual like this just isn't for either one of us. That's what I've liked about this show, is that these contestants are actually so much more than I really felt for him. They're kind of more, they're calling it as it is, which I like. I like this. It's a more honest dating show.
And
Yeah,
they
I
kept it
agree.
in. They kept those words in.
But listen, TB told, if I was Dylan, I would have leaned to a producer and been like, now listen, I'm going to go. But don't check me out my room because I'm going to come right back.
I want this bungalow for another night.
Yeah.
Service.
Yeah, I got this bungalow for one more night.
I'm going to Hunters.
Right.
Hunty.
Free promo.
Right. But I did like Dylan's exit. I thought that it was very mature. I thought it was very classy. I thought it did reach a point where like, listen, I'm not going to put myself through this. I'm not going to put you through this because you're obviously struggling with your decision. So is it there? Nope. All right, girl.
Yeah.
Bow out. See you later.
It worked out so well.
Yeah, it was really good.
agree.
So kudos to you, Latavia.
Oh. Well, you
sneak
built
that
him
in
up
there.
and then you threw him back down.
Listen, I got it. That keeps him humble. All right, so then Robert. Okay, this is where I was confused because earlier in the episode, didn't Lance say or someone say that that one person will be chosen for a date?
I don't know, but he was like room hopping. So I want to get to that pool date. I'm like desperate. That was
Wait, Chris, wait.
Because Robert was walking right and voice over a confessional or something. He's like, I still have to pick someone for a date.
Right, but then both
maybe he
Eric
just had,
and
like, the
Brandon
first
got.
date.
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe
maybe
they just-
they were just like, listen, Dylan left, so there's really no choice. You can't take one and not the other, so it's going to end up being
Maybe,
two.
yeah.
And one was on crutches, so you could kind of take advantage of that. And go I don't think he could get to the window to see what was going on in the pool.
You know, it was a very like misery situation where they set Brandon up on a chair and like threw his crutches somewhere far. Like, I'm all help
But
help
he
him
looked
out.
so cute.
They were like, Brandon, sit here.
I know. He
Bye.
yeah, he could.
Going to the pool.
Jesse and I both did agree that we like somebody who's a man who's injured.
No, I don't know what it is. A
I
friend
know.
and I talk about this all the time, and now we'll talk about it
Yeah.
from now. Like,
Sure.
Like
if you
a
have,
limp? Like
a
a little limp or something?
just a
What are you
slight injury, like if you're in like a little sling
Yeah.
or a cast or
okay.
crutches
And-
or like I don't know what it is.
You
but,
wanna
like,
Like I feel like a
serve men,
temporary,
a man.
a temporary.
it's like the physical
disability.
equivalent of an accent to me. It's just
Motherly.
like give me it all.
Yeah.
Wow.
Preach.
You want to serve.
Your lips to my ears.
But Brandon, he looked really, really good, sprawled out. He looked like a Ken doll to me. You know, the crutches were
said
far
that.
away. He was just all vulnerable there, and I
Yeah.
think
Or
that
you just want to like take care of it.
exactly. And Robert,
I know
think found
somebody
it
that
appealing
would love
too.
to take care of him.
I would happily have volunteered and driven to Palm Springs myself. Propped his foot up on a pillow, gave him some soup.
Soup and let's call you some. Let's call you.
Never mind, a cold soup. A smoothie. Let's go smoothie.
So awful. All right, so let's get to Eric's date. So Eric, I felt like had that moment too of like, listen, I've opened up to you, like my heart is invested. I need to know like where you're at. And Robert liked it. Robert was like, where have you been this whole time?
What a great date.
Yeah.
A real moment between the two of them. Eric kind of took the lead the way Brandon did in the date and was like, no, this is what I'm saying this
Yeah.
time around, as opposed to me listening to you and answering all your questions.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great moment.
And
Yeah.
Robert did have to prompt him though a little bit, you know, because Eric is very quiet.
Started off awkward.
It was like when I met him here at the bar. Yeah, he's very quiet. So Robert pushed him, but he did reveal what he was thinking, and it was like
It worked.
perfect.
Yes.
It worked. Yeah.
Well, speaking of perfect, that pool date.
Yay.
That the moon
Legit.
was full and it was just shining just right.
Full
and
moon.
The reflecting, and they were in the pool all wet with their hair
Don't
all
you feel
slicked
so
back.
skinny when you're in the pool? So you must have just been like feeling like so
Lies.
good.
I have never felt skinny in a pool. I feel like
Really?
everything expands. Like I'm already thickums enough. Like when I get in the pool, I look down, I'm just like suddenly I feel like Sherman Klump.
Oh,
I do.
Shut.
Well,
too.
if the
you are no
suits...
Sherman Klump.
Thank you.
That pool
You're a
situation.
You're Naomi Campbell.
Thank you.
That pool back and forth though was the first time I really saw true chemistry on this show.
I
Yes.
thought
Yeah.
so too.
Yeah.
And a lot of emotion this last week and this week with Robert and even the other guys. Like I'm like it's the walls have crumbled.
Yeah.
When I was watching last week, I was like, where was this in the
Mm-hmm.
beginning? Because like the way when he lit up like around his family, I know they couldn't have had the family any sooner than that. But like the way he lit up about like something that he loved, I was like, okay, I can get on board with that.
Yeah, I could have gotten on board a little bit more if the suits had come off, though. I mean, it was...
Oh,
come
no.
on, it's the perfect moment.
Not at this
Isn't-
resort.
Isn't that a natural thing that would happen normally?
What's a natural thing?
The suits coming off.
What
There
suits?
are a lot of nudist
Bathing
resorts
suits.
in Palm Springs.
Don't they do this
What
on
are
other
bathing
dating
suits
shows? I mean, don't you
I mean,
see it a
dating
lot?
naked, like that's their shtick.
Dating naked, of course, but I
No,
mean,
that
this is
would've-
not date one now. We're not on date one.
So what exactly did you want to see?
I want
He wanted to
I
see
want the
blurred-
suits to come off. You just said it gets wider, so they should they shouldn't be
Look,
embarrassed.
you know they don't have the post-production budget to do all that
I think-
blurring
Logan
out.
would have found a way.
I
but
think production would have been
Too much
happy.
work.
Chris
think-
wants like a producer down in the trenches, like in the water with like
He
a
wants the
scuba suit,
GoPro. He wants the GoPro in the pool.
Forget the cameras.
swimming between their legs, like
Forget
as
the
they're
cameras.
going.
Yeah, but that would have been to me a normal behavior for two guys on their 10th date.
this is not the 10th date.
Wow.
This is not the 10th date that they've had. This is like the
Damn.
second or
It's
third.
hot. It's
You know
Palm
what?
Springs.
It sounds-
the water's glistening. The moon is
suits are-
out.
You have completely tried
Okay.
our entire life.
Chris, you have lived. I'm just saying. This is what you expect. I can only imagine what you've received.
Yeah.
You gotta live life to the fullest. It's so short.
Suddenly, a song is
I do
coming in my
agree with
head.
that.
Thank you.
What's
I
that?
do agree
Once
with
upon a
you.
time, not long
I
ago.
was a hoe.
Not admitting it.
I won't take it back.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to, for tonight's song, I wanted to pick "Cheap Thrills" by Sia. I thought would have been perfect, and they did mention those words. But yeah,
That's your song of the summer.
I'm
falls
obsessed.
into
I'm obsessed
spring.
with that song right now. Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
like over and over and over, I'll play it and I listen to it. So, yeah, I thought it would have been great.
Yeah.
I'm thinking we were looking more for like a gimme more.
Oh yeah, that would have been more appropriate.
I,
Guys,
guys, I've got this. Yeah.
Brady's good to go.
Yeah. Okay.
cannot.
Let's get back on track.
Let's go to Brandon's date, shall we?
Yes.
Which started off with a nice cuddle in bed and some smooches and kisses. And I actually thought that was the date.
I was thinking.
Because that was like
I was
a
really
pre-date.
upset though. If that was, wouldn't you be offended if that was the date?
What? If to lay in bed and cuddle?
To lay, yeah.
Nah, I said the cat.
You're gonna take
lay.
me out for a date.
No,
You gotta get dinner first.
No, we can lay in bed, bring a large pepperoni pizza from either Papa John's, Pizza Hut, or Domino's.
What happened
like
to
a
you?
Greens code.
You used to
Oh,
be
you
like the
guys-
church lady, so you're good with this.
Cuddle.
smooching.
In our clothes.
It seemed like it was getting steamy. I mean, they were like.
See, you got to clarify with Chris.
You're gonna take me out of the house if you're gonna do anything.
We already been
I
out the
want
house.
at least a TV dinner right before.
God.
TV,
Chris is like, throw me a granola bar and I'm set. That's a
I'm
date.
talking about Grant.
Let's go to bed.
I expect like Beverly Hills
I'm
dinner
not
or
eating any
something.
TV dinners on a date or by myself.
See, I am but a simple man.
He just needs a pepperoni pizza.
See,
That's it.
I'm the opposite. I'm not. I have high expectations.
Good.
I want to go to a nice hotel.
Know your worth.
I
Ooh.
really, yes.
I mean, I wouldn't say no to
couldn't
that,
do
but
like a
You ain't Julia
microwave.
Roberts and Pretty Woman.
Are you
You
talking
can't be
about
asking for
microwave?
all this.
You want a room?
You don't know.
See, that's why it's so much pressure today. And
Outrage.
see, I am very simple. Like, you ain't got to take me to no restaurant in Beverly Hills because when I look at the menu, half of the stuff I'm not going to want anyway. Take me to the Olive Garden, we get that 2 for $20, and I'm all right.
2-piece biscuit.
But
and then you get one to take home for after.
yes,
She's thrifty.
just saying. Y'all want to be all wine and dine and all that kind of stuff. Ain't nobody
Hell
want
yeah.
wine.
All
Hi-
right.
Now, I'm not saying I'm cheap, But I'm just saying.
A hike is a way to my heart. That's what I do.
I can't do hikes with people like on the because I always have this nervous feeling like they're crazy and like they may not like me and then they push me off.
Oh dear.
Like, I don't want that.
I would do a hike.
Sorry, I did that one time, Tony. I didn't think you were gonna bring it up again.
Showgirls.
It was one time.
It was one time.
I can't with you. Okay, so back to Brandon's date. So they did eventually go out to dinner, and Brandon really opened up and like explained just how, happy that he is to have met Robert, and just all these feelings kept pouring out, and it caused such an emotional moment between those two. And I was just like, if this ain't love, I don't know what is.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Highly emotional.
Very emotional. Well, let's get to the black tie affair.
The last black
Robert
tie.
was in a black bow tie. Just thought that was interesting.
And
I like
that's-
the top
media.
size. Yeah, everyone
media.
looks good.
Okay, yeah, everyone looked real good. They looked real sharp. I will tell you the shade of logo is putting the camera on Brandon while he was trying to get dressed. Like, he's in crutches and only got 1 foot. He can barely do
Worked
stuff.
for
I
me.
was like, bless your heart. Like, he kept like standing up and then having to sit back down, and he was like buttoned, then he had to stand back up, and then like he had that 1 foot with the blue sock and the one shoe to put on. I was like, po thing. And then he's like hobbling out. I was like, oh, I hope it ain't high.
I could have watched the whole process.
I'm like, I don't see the problem.
well, the
can't.
They
scenery
made that
looked
poor man
fabulous.
stand like that. Yeah, it did look good.
I mean,
Bless his heart.
that
Better
Palm
than a
Beach,
driveway. I mean, that's just, let's
It was
say that.
gorgeous.
It was lit. There was like
Lovely.
some plants, some
Episode-
jet
I mean, season 2.
perspective.
It was
Yeah.
gorgeous.
It was really cute. The nice like rock formations and little candles going down the
I agree.
stairway and stuff.
I love a
Real
good
cute.
palm tree. I love palm trees. So I like them lit at night like that. Looked good.
He likes to be courted and palm trees, folks.
Yeah,
That's all he needs.
Just him in the Chateau Marmont, we're good.
There you
We're
go.
even.
Insider her.
Oh, so fancy. Anyway, Black Tie
Yes,
Affair.
yes, yes.
We finally find out Robert's decision, and he seems even so conflicted up until the moment. And we all thought, we were all just waiting. I know halfway through the episode, I was like, can we just get to the part where he says the person that I think is going to win, and then the rigor mortis came, the gaggery, the jaw-dropping moment
Wow.
is when he let Brandon go and kept Eric. Now, we all were like, oh, we thought for sure it was going to be
My
Brandon.
mouth was on the
We all were-
No shade against Eric.
no shade.
Yeah.
But the way that the past couple of episodes have been,
Right.
and how Robert and Brandon have been, we all thought, oh, girl, all of a sudden, Miss Brandon came up out of nowhere and then swooped up the competition.
Yep. It looked that way.
I
so
was
shocked.
thrilled. I felt the underdog won.
You thought Eric was the underdog?
In a way, because everybody was saying, "Oh, they're just keeping Eric because of his status," and it turned out not to be the case. He truly chose Eric, and I was like, "Yay!"
But I think they had a good connection, though.
Eric
That was
and
worthy of
Robert?
him keeping, yeah.
You never could tell. I mean, I was like, you guys, like, let's just get to the end. We know it's going to be Brandon. Let's speed it up. And then to find out it was Eric, it was shocking, and I was so happy. I was so happy that the status did not matter to him. That tells a lot. It tells a lot to the whole world. It doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
And true love is true love, and so I was so happy for Eric. Nothing against Brandon.
Yeah, I mean, like I said last week, I thought it was going to be between Eric and Brandon. I sort of thought it was going to lean towards Brandon, but I'm just happy that two people found love, and that I hope they have remained in love and continue to get to know each other. And,
Now I want to see more on social media. Yeah,
yeah,
We'll see.
let's keep it going.
yeah.
Is that a read?
What was the read?
I wouldn't be able to see it on social media, but we'll see. I don't know. I don't know.
You won't be able to see Robert, but you can see Eric.
I want to go see Eric in person for a haircut. His hair always looks really good.
Yes,
Yeah.
and when we saw him in person, you thought his hair was good on that show. His hair is like this high.
beautiful.
It's
Yes.
huge.
Yeah.
A flowing mane.
Yeah. Well, congratulations
Yes.
to
Yeah.
Robert
Congrats,
and
you
Eric.
guys.
And overall, really quick before we have to wrap up, overall, what did you guys think of this first season of Finding Prince Charming?
Fabulous job. I think it's only going to get better from here. I think production learned a lot. I think more money's going to be spent.
Yeah.
I think they might try harder, though, to find whoever's Prince Charming, playing Prince Charming. I think they're going to try a little harder to find what the match is. I felt in this case, maybe they just brought in all different kinds of people, but I think maybe they'll research it a little bit more. But I thought it was a great first season.
Grant?
Yeah, I enjoyed the show. I don't know really what else to say. I mean, I think it was entertaining. I enjoyed goofing on parts of it and the dates. I'm here for a good laugh, you know. So I enjoyed. It was entertaining, and yeah, I mean, it seems like a lot of the guys have made really good lifelong friendships. So that's something very positive that came out of it. And everyone from the show has been great to us here at AfterBuzz. So
And supportive.
Yeah, so that's great.
Jesse?
Yeah, I was thoroughly entertained the whole time. I had a great time watching, great time with you guys. And I'm glad that we get to do it again.
Jay?
Season 1 of reality shows is always tough because they're finding their footing. So I think for season 2, they're going to come in with, I think, a person from the show as a bachelor, which will be good because they'll already have a built-in following. And I kind of expect more because this season there was parts, I enjoyed watching the suitors the whole time. I have enjoyed talking with them. I have enjoyed watching them. But I think the dates will get better, and I think the bachelor will be great.
For me, I just want to commend Logo for finally having a show like this. And I think that when this show was presented, or this type of show was presented, everyone thought that all the suitors would be hooking up with each other and we're just going to see a bunch of mess. But I am so appreciative of the fact that we got to see so many different personalities, and we got to see, what it's like for everyone to really struggle and to find love, and then in the end we have two people who are totally into each other and have felt like they found their Prince Charming. So that's how that is. Now stay tuned to next week because we got the reunion where the real tea is about to begin.
I really am going to try to be here for that because that looks too good.
Don't act like you're just so busy and you got things busy to your schedule. You completely tried it.
Just tell me about it. Yeah.
Well, and of course, thank you to you guys for always tuning in to hear our crazy shenanigans and sides of this story. But before we head out and sign off, one by one, let's tell all the fine folks where we can find each other on social media.
AKA Golden Boy, ChrisValentine.la is my website as well.
And you guys can find me over on Twitter at Grants__rants and on my podcast, Grants Rants Hollywood Talk.
You guys can find me across all social media platforms at Jesse J. D'Angelo.
I'm talking directly to Christopher, Ray, and Tangled. They're talking to us in the chat room. So you guys can find me on Twitter at still_jealous and Instagram at don't_be_jealous.
Bless your heart.
Thank
And
you.
of course, you guys can find me on all social media platforms at Lounging with Tony or my website, loungingwithtony.com. We will see you guys for our final week next week for the reunion of Finding Prince Charming. Bye, y'all.
Thank
Have
you,
a great
Justin.
night.
Bye, everybody.
Oh, and thanks for tuning in, Justin. Thanks for calling in. We love you.
favorite.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.